Dear How Build a Friend, welcome in this new module. You have been concluding in your long fist challenge, and now we are going to work on becoming a long fist instructor. So from here we are going to work on your skills as an instructor, and this is of course a very important moment, because at this moment we are going to work on your class structure and so on. In the previous module you have been working on getting your form right, and this form in itself is not much of an issue. Learning the movements is very important, of course, but you just have to get to do them properly. In this course we are going to work on particular kind of aspects to make sure that you as an instructor become fully prepared to stand in front of a class and to share your skills with other people without moving into the teaching part, but staying into the instructor part. And we are going to work on all kind of details that you need. And in this class, in this session, we are going to talk about all the different kind of aspects what we are going to need to go through in this course. And in general, you can say we could talk about 10 different aspects that are a requirement of this course to be completed and to find at the end your certificate on your wall, whether it's a digital wall or a paper wall, that is up to you. First of all, I like to start with clarifying a little bit what you need for preparation. First of all, you need to know your long fist form. Of course, that is a very important part, because otherwise most of the things that we say here do not make too much sense. Then you need to make sure that you have gone through your Qigong primer, because it says a lot about exercise history of practice and katas and shi in Chinese actually. And as a result, that's for which you can understand a lot about what you are going to do. And also there is a primer that you best prepare with, which is an introduction to the basics of Chinese medicine, anatomy, physiology in a comparative view towards Western medicine. So if you know a little bit about Western anatomy and physiology, and you know a little bit about Chinese anatomy and physiology, if you want to go in depth with that kind of knowledge, then at that moment it is best to continue to the bachelor program, because there you get a very extensive course and training in this comparative view about Western and Chinese medicine, which is required for becoming an acupuncturist or something like this. At the moment, when you do this course, you have to understand that in the end result, we are not going to be responsible for what you are going to say to your students. Theoretically, you are free to say whatever you want, depending on the worldview that you hold, whether that is a physiotherapeutic view, or a bodybuilder view, or a kung fu view from the Chinese government, wushu, or anything like that. That doesn't really matter. That becomes only important once you enter into the bachelor program, because then we would like you to hold on to the Chinese medicine view in the way, in the Taoist medicine view, in the way how we use it in the Daolan program. There is going to be a part also in your primers which revolve around the, how do you call it, the Daoland healthcare primer, healthcare book, which is part of the Yangshan training. I don't know yet where to plant that, but that is part of the Daoland program as a whole, so that you can use information from that as part of your talking points during your instructor classes. Then there are particularly important things which have to do with the construction of your classes and the way how we structure the whole program as a whole, so that you get ready eventually for your certification program. First of all, we have to talk about how you set up your classes. Setting up a class is not a matter of just standing in front of class, showing and telling people what to do. No, there are some details which are very important to pay attention to make sure that your students, whether they're young or whether they're old, that they feel comfortable with you in your class, so that you convey your skill, your experience level, however fresh or however old it is, in the right way, so that people can understand what they are getting into with you. Because, you know, that is it. They do this with you. They don't do this under you. They do this with you. So that's a very important part. And as a result, that there's a lot of things to know about how to deal with participants and so on. That's also about how to organize your finances, how to organize your bookkeeping. There's a lot of different kind of things that are revolving around this. Then you want to start preparing basically from the beginning with setting up your apprenticeship. So we have to talk about how to do that, how to set up your apprenticeship. Then there are some technicalities of the movements that you need to understand and to know a little bit more about than your students will, because you might make some physical mistakes from learning the long fist form as a whole. But now we have to get to the point where you are going to work on the individual details of the movements, so that you can start, how do you say, get beyond the basic level that my kids are on when they are practicing at the moment when I make this video. Then we have to talk about how you report your results, so that we understand that I can follow how you are progressing as a whole. And for this, one thing is important, whether you have the basic package or whether you go to the VIP package. The VIP package, of course, has a lot more personal approach, because we are continuous in communication with each other about these kind of things. But there's also Q&A sessions for the basic package to make sure that you can put your questions there every now and then. And at the moment, when you signal us through your reporting, we can see like this is not going right enough. So by the time that you get to a point where we say like this is a good point to interfere, we can help you progressing further. And whenever really necessary, we can always find a way to communicate about the different details, whether the details might be very specialized or private to you, personal to you, you can also say. Then when we are further with that, we go a little bit into the storyline of the long fist boxing, and we go compare it a little bit with other long fist forms, and we're going to talk a little bit more about why and the how, and what kind of people actually are best your target audience, and how you adapt to the different kind of target audiences that you might have. Then there are the attention points that you give in the different classes, and when you are giving these classes, there are particular kind of things that might come back every time to pay attention to for people in your instruction class. Then there is the actual apprenticeship. Of course, apprenticeship is very important. How to set up your apprenticeship, what kind of things should you do during your apprenticeship, how many classes, how many people, and so on and so forth. So from there we can start working things out. Then there is your final reporting, where everything comes together what you have been doing during the course. Hopefully the challenge and this course together have been done within 6 months, and you have been completing this, so that you can very quickly get to work and earn some money with your classes. I think basic Kung Fu classes is very easy like this. There's going to be a follow-up with 2 more forms over time, the coming time, but for now, for at least the first year, you will be very satisfied with doing 1 form in your classes, and then you can go in all kind of directions towards Tai Chi Chuan, about Qigong, or about meditation and so on in addition, so that you gradually build your audience. This is specifically important for people who are in the bachelor program, because when they're in the bachelor program, when they go through their whole learning program, they have to do a few of these health builder programs, and as a result that they can create the kind of audience that they need for, say, their acupuncture or their massage or whatever kind of specialization they choose. Then in the end, when everything is complete, you get your certification to hang it on your wall, or to hang it on your digital wall. You can prove to people that you are validated by our school for that kind of work. As an organization, we will go work for your further recognition, so that maybe eventually all primary schools or all high schools or all government, army, whatever kind of things, they will invite you to come teach their students, workers, whatever kind of things, to follow classes with you. Of course, we hope for the best success for everybody. So I hope that this video was very useful for you as a starter and as an introduction, so that you have a good, clear idea about what we're going to do. So that means that we're now going to be ready to get to the next part. So let's get on with it.